Good morning, everyone in Winchester, Virginia, Frederick County, and Shenandoah Valley. How you doing, Virginia? This is Dana, Charlie, and our buddy Scott. We are the 3% from Mountain Patriots Educational Ministries, and we've got a lot to talk about a moral society and what we see that's going on this morning. But before we get started, there's some good things happening. We are the 3%. We're Mountain Patriots Educational Ministries, and you can find us online at mtnpats.com. If you can see your screen, we are celebrating the 250th anniversary of this incredible republic. And we have a saying, since we follow the Bible and we're also prep, we have a book by the name of The Thinking Prepper. And we always say to people, it's in the book. So if you can't find your prep in the book, you can always find your prep, your big prep, your eternal life prep in the big book. Basic instructions before leaving Earth. We are the Mountain Patriots, and if you go to our new site, you're going to find all kinds of new goodies on here, all information about what we're doing. You've got the Mountain Patriots Think Tank Data Center Report, Winchester Star. You've got the Honey Badger Report telling us all about what's going on. Different books, as you can see, upcoming events, so people know what's going on with your Frederick County Republican Committee, your Board of Supervisors, the school system, Small Business Freedom Alliance. But we also now have gear. So come on down and check out our Mountain Patriots gear. We are doing a program right now called The Liberty Man, and it's called The Glorious Cause, about the Revolutionary War, since we're coming up on 250 years. And we also have Liberty Man gear. And a percentage of that goes to a project that we've started to be able to build monuments and statues in Virginia, in Warren County, and Winchester, as well as Richmond, statues that go to the forgotten soldier. So come on out here, check out our store. There's all kinds of products. You can decide what you want to do. But before I go any further, I do want to show people where to sign up. We have a podcast sign up for our 250th anniversary. If you are willing to jump on here and be part of Make America Patriotic Again, please do so. Fill out the form, send it in. We are talking to the Liberty Man. You can see George Washington in the middle of our screen. Hi, Charlie. He's our George Washington, does a phenomenal job even without his horse. But here's your chance to be part of history. We need moms, dads, kids, teachers, business owners to come on our show and be a part of history, either in costume or not in costume, and explain what you know about the history, especially of the Shenandoah Valley. So come on out here. We do know that our history started in the Valley, and step back in time, help us relive history like never before. You can find this at wakeupwinchester.com. So I just wanted to bring that to everybody's light before we get started. And please check us out at mtnpats.com. So our facilitator, as always, is my great brother and our sidekick, Scott, who's always here, part of the school board, because we do care about the children. So I'm going to turn it over to Charlie, and he's going to take you down the rabbit hole with us today on our mission of what's going on in our morality here in Virginia and across the country, for that matter. So, Charlie, it's all yours, my friend.
Thank you, Dana.
Thank you.
Um, as Dana mentioned, morality is a topic. It's also a really big issue when you look closer at what's going on in this country, and people say, "Can't we all work together?" Well, what happens more and more is a clash between two moralities, and it's not easy um, to to play together
In the
when there's a
sandbox.
total clash in that arena. And I think it was, John Adams, that said, "We have given you a government that's wholly inadequate for a non-moral society."
Right. Got to have a moral society.
Yeah, that we need to have a moral society as part of our, country and culture. Uh, we have the Constitution, Bill of Rights, Declaration of Independence that we honor and agree, up till now.
life,
as that's our rule
liberty.
of law. That's what
Okay.
everything we do is based on, and we stay within those guardrails. And we have to have people in honorable people in order to make that work and
Right.
to make it last. And we've done it for 250 years to varying degrees. There's pieces of that that have eroded over the years. That from day one, there are forces at play that are based on morality. It seems like it's gotten more distinct in recent decades. Um, but we want to talk a little bit about how and why morality comes into play in today's politics and where we are with that. So, do you guys have anything to contribute to start that conversation?
Just to get the John Adams quote correct, our
Thank you.
Constitution was made only for a moral people. It is wholly inadequate to the government of any other.
Perfect. Yep.
Thanks, Scott. Appreciate it. This is I was doing some research this morning. I get up every morning and I pray. I spend an hour or so in prayer asking Yeshua what he wants me to do today. Not my will, but thy will be done. And another good Christian friend of mine sent me something about a Gallup survey that was just done. And I was thinking about other things when we were doing this. Uh, but it talks about the difference in a Gallup survey reveals a nation that's not merely disagreeing over policies, but increasingly unable to agree on what is right and what is wrong. Paints a picture of two Americans operating from entirely different moral frameworks, with Democrats and Republicans offering completely different views. 73% of Democrats now view abortion as morally acceptable. 18% of Republicans. 60% of Democrats say changing one's gender is morally acceptable. 5% of Republicans are like, okay, whatever. Uh, the divide, 81% of Democrats consider gay or lesbian relationships morally acceptable. I don't care what somebody does in the bedroom. I personally don't. Just don't push it on us. Compared to 35% of Republicans. 47% of Democrats view pornography as morally acceptable versus 19% of Republicans. There's a divide there in all of this. More than half Democrats even consider sex between teenagers morally acceptable, while only a fraction of Republicans agree. And then it says historically, American society operated from a broadly shared Judeo Christian moral foundations. Citizens disagreed about countless issues, but there remained one common understanding. Concepts such as marriage, family, sexual restraint, sanctity of life, and objective truth served as cultural anchors. So you can see the divide, and we're coming up right now. That came from an article from PNW, Prophecy News, that a good Christian friend, my buddy Carl, sent to me this morning. I call him Coverall Carl. Okay, but that's where we are, and we have a big election that's coming up in November. But even more, and just as importantly, you can see and feel the difference between 1976, when I was, what, 14 years old, 1976, um, the bicentennial, and here we are in 2026 for 250 years, and our country is being torn apart. So Scott, what's your take on this, my brother?
Well, I mean, you talk about the divide, and I'm not going to get into a debate with anybody about
No.
this. I mean, what happened was yesterday with the Carmelo Anthony thing.
Oh,
The kid was a thug. I don't care. I've seen the pictures of him standing there with his little AK and the other picture with him flipping off
Scott,
people.
this is real quick. This is the young guy. This is the guy that stabbed the twin brother, and he died in his arms.
The evidence was clear. The kid said he did it. He went to a high school game with a knife. He stabbed the kid, plain and simple. and he got 35 years. I'm sorry, I don't want to see anybody go to prison. I know I've after working in corrections for 36 years, I don't want to see anybody go to prison. But
Right.
by golly, that's why they're there, because some people deserve to go. This kid was guilty. He got found guilty, but you had the people who've looked at the evidence and said, okay, but then you've got a whole entire community of people on the other side that, well, he was black, he shouldn't be in prison. He was, I like the OJ thing. I watched something on it the other day, and they had one of the jurors there. It was clearly evident that OJ killed his wife.
Right.
There may have been some screw ups by the police and the prosecution. I'm not going to say there wasn't. Clearly evident, but they interviewed one of the jurors and said, um, was this payback for the Rodney King, or not yeah, the Rodney King verdict? Yeah, it was. And Rodney King was guilty of everything that they said he was, and that's the other thing. And I've been watching a lot of videos, and I can't remember the guy's name right at the moment. They do this in-depth look at all these historical events as they're portrayed now, and for the most part, what we're being spoon fed, or what the communities are being spoon fed, are out and out lies. They don't tell them the whole truth. Um, that the Stonewall riots up there that sparked the gay revolution, all that. Nothing that's said about that is true. Nothing that was said about that poor kid that was Matthew Shepard that got beat. They said it was a homosexual thing on it. The boy was a drug addict and a dope dealer, and it was a dope deal gone bad. Everything that happens has been misconstrued. The media is so dishonest and so
Bingo. They're complicit.
It's so in the tank for the socialist communist utopia that can never be, with everything in history. And that's where everything's headed, a satanic drive to get everybody on this road to socialistic utopia that's never going to happen. Every time it's been tried, it has failed miserably. Communism has killed millions upon millions upon millions of people, but everybody's like, it's going to be great. We're going to do it right this time. People don't know history. People don't understand. They don't look at facts. It's just ridiculous. And they don't take the time to learn. I can tell people something. We'll take the whole Trump Russia collusion thing. We know it was a scam developed by Hillary Clinton to help win her campaign.
Right.
But it's been proven. The documentation is there. You can see it. That whole stupid dossier was made up. But
The
people
Steele dossier.
they still believe it. I heard there was a female politician in Congress the other day bringing up Trump said that there were decent people on both sides of Charlottesville. That's not what he said. Whoops, sorry. That's not what he said, but they still want to hammer the same lie time and time again, and people buy it and they eat it up and they don't look for themselves. And that is the real problem. It is apathy. It is laziness. It is complacency. If you sit on the sidelines all the time, you're never going to know the truth. If you like, when I preach this past Sunday, and I'm telling people what I believe the scripture is saying, but I don't want you to take my word for it. I want you to look at the Bible. I want you to read it for yourself. I want you to look at it. I want you to study it, because you're the one that has to make up your mind that it's
at the end.
I can tell you what the facts are, but until you look at it for yourself, I mean, I could show you, but you're going to have to believe the facts.
The depth and the breadth of the misinformation and the indoctrination, the propaganda that is breathtaking.
Take somebody's word for it. Rather let somebody else do the research for them. And that's one thing that kills me about the voting when you get right down to it. And this all ties in. I like him because he looks nice. He speaks well. I don't care if they can speak or not. What do they believe in? What are their guiding principles? And when Barack Obama said we're about to fundamentally change the United States of America, that's exactly what they did. And it was a plan for him to have his 8 years, Hillary to have her 8 years, and they were going to
destroy the country. Hey, Scott,
destroy this nation, and they got caught because Trump stopped it.
Let me go backwards. There's a couple things you hit on when you were talking about separating a moral society, and then I'm going to go back to Charlie. that young kid, uh, um, Carmelo Anthony. Okay, they set up a GoFundMe page and wanted to make $1 million. So they bought $1 million house, they bought cars, they bought all kinds of stuff, and now the kid's going to
Nose
jail.
job for the mom.
Exactly right. So I heard all of that, and I'm thinking, what that just tips you off there. Then you were talking about Charlottesville. There were very good, fine people on both sides. They cut the speech off, but who backed? And it came out yesterday, uh, in Congress when they were talking to Dr. Brian Fair, who is
The Poverty
who's
Law
on the
Center.
Southern Poverty Law Center. Okay, he's on Southern Poverty Law Center, and they're the ones that paid for the crosses for the KKK. They're the ones that bought the
KKK.
gasoline to burn the crosses, and they
Not only
made the
paid for
money
their
to do it.
crosses, paid for their little white sheets and their little white hats too.
Exactly. And then they turn around and blame it on us. So where is that immoral society? Charlie,
Just
go ahead.
on the Anthony thing,
Oh,
he was using public defenders. None of that money got spent on a real attorney.
he used a
I'm not
public offender, right?
not that a
A
public
public,
defender is a real attorney, but if they wanted to bang for their buck, they certainly didn't get it.
well, right. They got a public offender. You know, I'm sorry. I mean, no, I'm not sorry. Charlie, what is your take? We've covered this karma. That's a great idea, lead in. Remember, Penny, the Marine on the train. Okay, here's a guy that saved somebody's life, and he goes through the entire grill trying to save somebody's life, and they upset and they ruined everything about this guy. Anybody that tries to stand up for morality, righteousness, God, country gets slammed back, and people are tired of it. Charlie, what's your take on this?
Yeah, I think what has
Yeah,
happened is the schools have indoctrinated the children to the extent that they rationalize bad behavior because the ends justify the means, or no, the means justify the ends, whatever that is. They feel they can do things that break the law, break the moral code, go against Christianity or whatever norms and mores that we want to have as a part of our culture, in the pursuit of some propagandized outcome.
right.
And they, when we talk about the judges and
That's the
um,
last thing.
all of the things that are working against them, the media, well, it's kind of obvious to me that they are at they the progressives, c that include now communist, Islamist, globalist,
Right.
whatever, immoral thing relative to our, culture, um, those they feel they've gotten critical mass. They've indoctrinated enough kids, and I could see this starting 10, 15 years ago when they were teaching children to be activists. And I think it started very strongly with Obama because
Yeah.
all
Oh,
he
absolutely.
is a community activist. So they
Remember
start
those? Not to interrupt you, but remember right when he got it was right after he got inaugurated, I think it was. Rush Limbaugh played this clip of this elementary school. I remember all the kids going, Barack Hussein Obama. He came to save us all. That kind of crap. I mean,
Yep.
talk about indoctrination. Do you think they would have ever done that for any other president in a public school?
Oh, no, no. And that there's somebody a lot of somebodies out there working as hard as they can to divide us. Their racism, I remember when I was, a manager back in the, '80s and '90s, I had, um, probably 40 people working for me or through the branches under me,
Right.
and
I had a
and
lot of people working with me.
and I promoted a couple people into management and so on that were black, and I didn't realize that someone asked me, "Well, how many black people do you have?" And my first thought was, I don't have any. And so then started thinking, well, I had about a half a dozen, but to me, they weren't black.
That's right. There are
And that
people.
pressed me at the time that they were people. And I thought, I think we're making progress in this colorblind society. But that was 2 and 3 decades ago. And now we're in the middle of continuous division, and it has to come from somebody intentionally wanting us to not let go of the racism, not become a colorblind society. And that's a moral issue, is we shouldn't be judging people. And I like what Martin Luther King said, judge people don't judge people by the color of their skin, but rather by their content or their
Of their
character.
character.
And we've lost that, and we need to get back to it. We need to get a moral society. We need, it's on life support, perhaps. We need to give it resuscitation and get it back in the
It's
forefront so
coming.
we can continue on that journey of being a colorblind, equal opportunity society. And in
Well,
every
let me stop you, and I'm not trying to be contentious, but we're already an equal society. You
We get,
can't tell me
exa-
and now I'm not. Just give me a second here.
it,
Oh,
that's
all through my
that's
life,
degrading people by saying that we're not, because we are. The
I
people
get it,
that are dividing us are the ones that are racist. That's just
but we
Scott, go
we
ahead.
are already an equal society. It is that faction, however. I mean, let's you look anywhere you go. I mean, I work with people of all races. I mean, I was in the
me too.
military. You know,
I don't care.
there was never any segregation in my life, but you know,
Right.
all these people who are, it's the victimhood. I'm allowed to be a victim because it's like reparations.
Great.
I don't give a crap. Uh, my ancestors fought for the South. Whoopee doo. I had ancestors that fought for the North. I never owned a slave. I don't know anybody that owned a slave. Um,
The
no one
United
alive
States government.
today had
Here we are.
Or
anything.
anybody who was a slave.
And nobody
Us.
in this country right now had anything to do with slavery in the 17 and 1800s. It was gone before we got here. But they want us to keep hammering on the fact, well, I was a slave, I should get reparations. The reparations have already been done. The Civil Rights Act took care of all that stuff. Our society was integrated. But now we've gotten to the point where, let's face facts. They remember a couple years ago when they started having the segregated graduation ceremonies. Oh, only minorities in this graduation ceremony. You white kids stay out of it. That kind of stuff. They have gone exactly the opposite direction.
Other
You
way.
know, it's ridiculous. Instead of going forward, people are wanting to go back, but it's the victimhood. I'm a victim. People need to get over, stop being a friggin' victim. I was born ugly and I was born fat and I was born poor. All right. I deal with it every day. I could scream to the heavens. I could scream at God, why did you make me like this? I have to take my own responsibility. I like friggin' McDonald's way too much. I like Cool Ranch Doritos way too much. When I stop eating them, I start losing weight. But then, you know,
You're pre-
I'm not a victim because you're not a victim because your ancestors were enslaved. You're not a victim because of this or that. You are what you are. My parents came from absolutely nothing. My mother came from the coal mining towns. Her father was an alcoholic. At 17 years old, got on a bus from the coal mining towns, went to Washington, D.C., and started working and started supporting her family. My dad came from a family of 12. They didn't have a whole lot of money either. High school dropout, joined the Navy, got his GED, went to be a police officer, got his bachelor's degree. Those people picked themselves up and did it for themselves. And so can anybody in this country. If you want it bad enough,
Great point. Great point, Scott. Because
Amen.
amen. I'm telling you. But that's how we were brought up. A couple things I'm going to say on that. We went through the same thing. Charlie brought up about black people. I never saw black people. I ran a business. I had hundreds of employees through the years. In Baltimore, it was about 60-40, and everybody got along. Okay. It's just the way it is. Now Scott's right. We are shifting it the other way. Oh, all of a sudden we're racist. Do you know who the slaves are, ladies and gentlemen that listen to us? Us. We're the ones, the taxpayers, that are being taxed out the wazoo, that are being ripped off by government, that has cheated, lied, destroyed everything we have, that are paying the bill for a whole bunch of things that are happening right now that are coming out of our pocket. And if we don't keep paying that, the good, moral, hardworking citizens of this country, they lock us up. So if we try to do something morally, that's how I see it. We're paying for it. We're paying for it. And that's why we're seeing a shift in what's going on right now. We're paying for it, and people are fed up with it. Oh, separate these people from these people and these people from this person, and I'm sick of it.
And there's another dimension that's coming in. It's not just racism. It's Sharia law.
Sharia law.
We have a lot of people coming into this country that do not want to assimilate. And that has been a backbone of our country is assimilation. And people are
It was done
coming
on
in
purpose.
demanding that they bring their Sharia law with them. They have areas that are intended to be only Sharia law, and Sharia law is totally an antithesis of our Constitution. Uh, the the whole idea of becoming one it goes away as people are pushed into their enclaves. Now, it's the same thing happening with LGBTQ. They're separating
Dismantling us.
people and keeping the pot stirred up. So it's far from just racism that's attacking this country. If the attacks on the country are actually the attacks on the Constitution, Bill of Rights, as that becomes eroded, we become serfs.
Well,
We
they've been
become
trying to eliminate that,
we
Charlie. They've been
become
trying to eliminate the Constitution.
we become
Rewrite it.
we become enslaved, like Dana was talking about,
Absolutely.
uh, and and we're heading back towards that unless we stop it and when we stand up. So we have to speak up and speak out.
Well, the
So
average American doesn't even know what the Constitution says. I mean, let's face
that's
facts.
true.
You ask
That's
somebody
true.
on the street, what's the 5 rights guaranteed to you under the First Amendment? They couldn't tell you. They couldn't tell you. Freedom of speech, they probably got freedom of religion. That's not what it says, but you know, yeah, that's the problem. The average American has no idea. When the Second Amendment says shall not be infringed, it's exactly what it means. But oh, we need to take the guns away because too many children are being killed. Yeah. Well, no, let's just prosecute the criminals. And maybe if we start locking people up again, then maybe the crime will go down.
And people,
Scott,
children are being taught the evil things that you're talking about.
let's go into school for a second. I was listening to, there's a young guy that was talking to this woman from Turning Point. Okay. My friend Jocelyn sent it to me yesterday. His young kid's name is Noah. He's in Albemarle County in Virginia. This is a month or so ago, and he is starting a chapter of Turning Point. Where he is, he just graduated. He's going to Liberty University. Very, very sharp young man. I shared it with Charlie yesterday, and about halfway through the interview, he was taking AP history. And what is AP history, Charlie?
Advanced.
Advanced.
That's for
And they
the
were
smarter
told,
kids.
that the AP history teacher said, okay, I want you to move to page 5 in this book. And this young guy, very sharp, and I'll try to add this link in the description box so you guys can see this interview. So she asked him about this history class. Flip to page 5. He goes back into the beginning of the book, and our history is written and based on
That book is
that particular book was based on Muslim culture. Our
from
history,
the Muslim point of
from
view.
the Muslim point of view, our Constitution, our history was being taught from an Islamic point of view. And this kid's like, wait a minute, this isn't American history. Oh, skip that part. We're going to teach you what real history is. What is that? What is that? So
Well,
when you're talking about indoctrination, whoo,
look at the laws that they just passed in Richmond. They're going to teach history from the perspective of marginalized
right.
groups of people. You know what? Again, and I'm with you. I don't care who you are and I don't care what you are. You do you.
You
Just
do
don't
you.
tell me I have to go along with it.
Correct.
What you do behind your doors in your room, in your house, I don't care as long as it's legal. But I don't give a crap what the LGBTQ perspective on the bombing of Hiroshima is. I really don't. There's a reason we bombed Hiroshima, and there's only one reason. The January 6th thing. They
Oh my
cannot
gosh.
say cannot say anything about January 6th other than it was an insurrection, which nobody got charged for insurrection. So how can it be an insurrection?
And that's
You
what's
know,
going to be taught, required to be taught in Virginia.
in Virginia school.
But it wasn't. And there's another one going back to what we were talking about. We talk about Southern Poverty Law Center. That is another side of what's going on one side of our government that actually set, and it's coming out, they set all of that up and then blamed us. That's narcissism. Okay. The same thing with LGBTQ. It's our fault that this is happening. The election, it's our fault. Oh no, they did it. They did it. They did it. But they did it. So look at the millions and trillions of dollars that we spend on education, we spend on the judicial system, that now we have to prove that it was all wrong. We have to prove that J6 was all wrong. What is Trump doing right now? He's got that fund that he wants to put out there to help out people that have been taken by lawfare. But they don't
And
want us to use that money for
that's
that.
been denied too,
It's
right?
been denied, and it's his money.
And you want to agree that a shining example of
People don't
what
get
we're
this.
talking about here. How many times over the last 15 years has the term Nazi, fascist,
That's us.
racist, homophobe been thrown up, shoved in our face anytime anybody does anything that's contrary to what the left decides is morally right? You're a fascist, you're a Hitler. But here we got a prime example. Graham Plattner up in Maine
Graham
just
Plattner.
won the Senate primary, had the Nazi, the SS death head and skull on his chest. Oh, it's no big deal. And it's not like it came out towards the end. It's always been out there, that information. But if you put it on there, he knew what it was. He knew that could have
Exactly.
been well. But if that would have been a Republican that had done that, I mean, was Pete Hegseth and his
And his cross.
whatever kind of cross it was, how he was, they were trying to tie it back to Nazism and all that stuff, how he shouldn't be the Secretary of Defense. It's fine when it's on one side, but when it's on the left side, it's like all things go as long as we stay in control and we stay in power. It doesn't matter. The guy could probably have a KKK sheet hanging. Well, Ralph Northam, for prime example, he should have never survived when that scandal broke about him, but he was fine. Remember when he wanted to do the Michael Jackson moonwalk across the thing and his wife had to stop him? It's just so stupid.
Yeah.
But as
Gretchen
long as it's
Whitmer's
on the
another
left,
one.
anything goes. But everybody in the country, oh my gosh, he's a Nazi. Oh my gosh, he's a Nazi. But all those people in Maine just voted for a guy who has a Nazi symbol on his chest, even though he's covered it up with something else. That's
Scott,
what's wrong with this country.
Scott, you made me think of something. And this just came out the other day. All of the young people, the folks that were set up, okay, that were paid by FBI 1.0. This is the Democratic side, Barack Obama and Joe Biden's FBI. Does everybody remember Gretchen Whitmer being kidnapped?
Oh, the kidnapping.
The
Yes, the
kidnapping.
kidnapping.
That's another one. And these guys were set up. Okay,
Yep.
they were
It
set
was
up
fake.
to
It was fake.
right. It was a whole fake, and it was set up again to say, look at the Republicans, the moral majority that's doing this. They're not more. These people are actually doing the crimes and blaming other people like us that are trying to bring the ethical, moral, Christian values back. Are we perfect? No, but my goodness. I mean, what is going on with the lying, the cheating, the stealing? And I want to add this: we're watching the election right now in California. For those of you who just listen, kind of to what's going on,
Slow
Spencer.
motion cheat.
Right. Now, I'm going to share something that I think may happen, and I'm going to put it on record so you hear it. Because people think a lot of times, oh, Dana's a conspiracy theorist. So I just ran out of them because a lot of them will come true. But Spencer Pratt was winning. Okay. Then Karen Bass, they had all these votes come in without anything for him. Without Spencer Pratt, they have 37 days to count them. All of a sudden, ramen noodle, okay,
That
the
was
third
after election
person,
day.
right after election day, they're counting all these votes. And all of a sudden, Spencer Pratt's not in this anymore. However, there are votes that we have found out that are being held back. Now, wouldn't it be really funny if on the end of this, they pull out all of these votes and they all belong to Spencer Pratt and he wins? What are they going to say? Oh, wait a minute, he cheated? So, what I'm understanding are votes are being held back. So, I'm not saying maybe it will, maybe it won't, but I'm hearing that there are votes that are being held back, and we won't know really till the very end. Same thing with Steve Hilton. So imagine that. Oh, we didn't cheat, but it takes 37 days to count votes, 40 days. Are you kidding me? That just tells people right there that something is not right. So this is a
Okay,
wake up call.
let's take that something is not right and set it aside and say, okay, now what do we do? What
Charlie,
do we
let's go
have
to
to
that
do?
part that you were talking about when we were talking earlier. You were talking about what young people need to do, the Gen Z. Where are the people now that were all behind this whole movement to try to save America? What's going on now? Weren't we talking about that earlier?
Yeah, right. It seems to be a trend of young Gen Zers towards religion,
Oh, they're moving
they
that way.
towards conservatism,
Amen.
towards being fed up with what they're seeing and hearing now, because we now have the internet out there showing both sides continuously. So they have to start sifting and sorting and figuring out what's true and what's not.
They're
Uh,
stuck.
yeah, so hopeful there's a glimmer of hope on the horizon that there'll be enough young folks to stand up and make a difference. I consider Charlie Kirk a young folk. That he stood up, he paid a price, but he stood up and was an advocate for Christianity, um, our country,
Morality.
our culture, morality, and all of those things. And I see some other young people on some of the podcasts
Oh, yeah.
doing the same thing. His podcast is continuing with other people that were on it before. Um, I'm hopeful that people begin to wake up and see things, just like you described the election going on in California. Hopefully, that's
It's a wake up
visible to
call.
people, that they are able to see it despite their lens that they have been it's been put in front of them where they can't see anything but liberal things. What do we do? I mean, it's one thing to spend a half an hour lamenting about things because that's important for everybody to understand what's going on, what's being done against us and to us. But now where do we go from here?
Well, we've been trying, Charlie. As you know, we don't make any money doing this. I mean, it's cost us dearly. Um, but spiritually, it has been a blessing to me for personally, Barbara and I, um, learning about this great country, where it started, how it started, uh, what happened, what people were willing to do, what people were willing to put in sacrifice, for everything from the Liberty Man and that program that we're doing to the Black Robe Regiment, to Charlie Kirk. We're doing everything that we can, especially here in Frederick County. And there's a lot of groups like us. We've got city elders that are in the middle of it. But my thought is number one is don't give up hope. Okay, there's a lot of young kids right now that are stuck. They're Gen Z, they're 18, 19 years old, there's no job, there's no, they're faced with everything and they want the nicer things in life. We need to support them. Um, People that are older need to get back in the game. Folks, this is not going to go away. If we want to survive this and have our children survive this, we have got to be a part of this. If we're not being a part of the solution, we're definitely sitting on the sidelines being a part of the problem, because you either stand for something or you fall for anything. My grandfather used to tell me that all the time. Dana, you either stand for something or you fall for anything. And he always used to tell me, Dana, always tell the truth. It's easier to remember. It is. People never have enough time to do things right, but you ever notice they always manage to have enough time and money to do them over? And always treat people like they deserve to be treated. Now go out there and give it 100% with whatever you do. And that stuck with me. It stuck with me. And if we can get people back in the middle of it, they're tired of it. I'm working 3 jobs. And I will say this, and you and I, Charlie, talked about it earlier. Some people say, uh, well, your Mountain Patriot group has gotten a little smaller. Well, they're working 3 jobs to keep up. We didn't have that a couple years ago. And it will change once we take over the House and Senate. All of this will change. These are birth pangs. So where are these people? At Small Business Freedom Alliance, that's smaller. What is getting bigger? Frederick County Republican Committee. People are starting a little bit to stand up, but now's the time, in my humble opinion, to celebrate the 250th anniversary of this country, to get involved. We've got between now and November, okay, to switch all of this and stay part of what's going in. Pray, people, pray. Scott, what do you think?
Yes. Maybe in 36 years of corrections has made me a very cynical person. I'm sorry to say, but
I get it.
you know, the average person doesn't want to be bothered. They want to go to work, come home, eat their dinner, sit in front of the tube, maybe play with the kids and go to bed. That's all they want. They just want their pleasure. I get it. I like it too. But at some point, you have to sit back and say, enough of this crap is enough of this crap. And stand up and do something about it. Um,
Okay.
I decided to stand up, and granted, some of the things that I thought were wrong, I found to be not true.
Right.
And that's one thing you have to be willing to look at the situation and learn from it and admit when you were wrong about certain things and change the things you can
It's humbling.
and stand up against the things you can't. But most people don't want to do that. And by golly, when you stand up, as you all know very well, is the minute you stand up, you become a stinking target for every piece of crap thing that comes down the pike. And that people don't want that anymore. And it's vicious and it's ugly. I get it. Um, but apathy has become part of America. These people that are screaming, "I'm going to go to Europe because Trump's elected. I'm going to leave the country. This country is so bad." All these people crying and screaming, "This nation is so bad." Ain't none of them going anywhere.
Well, they
All here.
look at the
Even
gates.
Rosie O'Donnell and Ellen DeGeneres came back.
Right.
Yeah, if it go somewhere else and go to Sudan or go to Saudi Arabia and get your pride flag and scream and say, "I'm in solidarity with Hamas," and see how long you stand there
Just
before you
don't go on a roof.
you know, I chuckle at it. I don't care if you're homosexual or not. You do you. I'll tell you what the Bible says. You do you. I don't care what you are. It's up to you. But just to scream that the United States of America is a horrid place is the furthest thing from the truth. It is a God-blessed nation, and we've taken it for granted. We've trodden it under, and unfortunately, we've had to pay the price for our own ignorance and arrogance. But I'm telling you, I've lived in Europe. I don't want to live there permanently. I want to stay here where it's nice, where I've got freedoms. Yes, they're trying to take my freedoms away, but I still have more rights here. I can say bloody well almost anything I want to People can say anything they want to about me as a quote unquote uh, political official, and I can't do anything about it. You go over to London and start berating somebody, see what happens to you. You don't have freedom of speech in London. You don't have
You're
freedom of
about to
speech.
lose it here.
You don't have freedom of speech over in Paris and all those other places. You see how fast there was people that came here on vacation from Great Britain and they were skeet shooting. And when they posted the videos on Facebook, they go back to Great Britain, they got arrested because they were shooting guns.
Yep.
We don't have that problem here, not yet. They're trying to make it our problem.
It could be
I,
if we don't do something about it. That's the point.
I see people starting to wake up, and I even some of the people in the quote unquote mainstream media, although they're all lost. I'm not saying they're not. Some of them have asked some questions where I've had to go, wait a minute, did that just come out of your pie hole when they've challenged people? Remember when the lady challenged Katie Porter in that interview and she got all ticked
Yes.
off and she stormed out? You know, that would have never happened 5 years ago. So some people are waking up. They got rid of those people over there at CBS. I'm not saying those people are become guardians of the truth by a long shot, but they're starting to weed the Don Lemons out, the Scott Pelley's. Who was that guy that used to hand the microphone years ago at the White House?
We had Lawrence O'Donnell. You got all of those people.
Those people are being weeded out for a reason because they know they're full of crap. So I think
They're
there's
anti-American. They've been taught, Scott. They're CIA trained. If you go looking up, they're CIA trained, and they're designed to ask questions to start things. I watched Kristen Welker do that interview with President Trump the other day. Go look at her face from here to here. I mean, the evil that face portrayed was just you can't not see it.
You get up and walk on me. I travel all the way to Wisconsin. When he stepped on that microphone
In the rain, in a barn.
it wasn't on purpose, but it was a great ending to that interview.
It was ironic.
Incredible.
Very
Charlie, what do you see that we need to be doing and what people need to
Well,
stand up with?
one of the things that we're all about is Mountain Patriots Educational Ministry. Is one of our middle names is education.
Yep, that's what we're
So
trying to do.
without being capturing it, containing it within the definition of a school, we just need to shine a light on the truth wherever
And
we
this is our
can.
opinion.
And yeah, and we need to educate others in our opinion, in what's out there, what's going on. Now I'm afraid that that ends up having to be negative to do that, but that has to be done. And then we, like we're doing, we need to speak out, speak up and speak out.
Absolutely.
And staying quiet, being one
Complicit,
of the
complacent.
the yeah, the wallflower, if you will,
Right.
isn't gonna cut it anymore. Well, we need to have people willing to see something and say something. And to that end, if as long as we keep speaking out, others will see that, yeah, we can speak out too. And, a
Don't be afraid.
and we need to find and politically, we need to find like-minded people and support them in every way we can to get them elected to go in and do the right things. You know, we have worked very hard locally here to get like-minded people with a conservative bent to be on the Board of Supervisors. Now we're hearing some people uh, talking against them because these people are impatient and not willing to give enough time for things to happen, just like Trump. There's a lot of things he can't do all
Like
at
that.
once in the beginning. I mean, God invented time so everything didn't happen at once.
Right.
Well, I mean, God didn't snap his fingers and make things happen right then and there the way they wanted either. I mean, let's face
No.
facts. They
6
were in
days, took a day off.
100 years before Moses came on and
Right.
led them out of there. You
Yeah.
know, we
Yeah, and all this bad stuff didn't
want
happen.
it now. We want to pop it in the microwave and get it out in 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And we still eat the pizza, even though half of it's still frozen in the middle because we want it right now. You know,
Right.
So
Scott,
you
Patience,
need
patience, and
patience is a virtue, which I really lack it a lot myself. You need to have
but
patience.
there's two that goes together, patience and perseverance. Those 2 things, are critically important to, staying the course, not getting discouraged. I mean,
it is
we all at one
discouraging. Let's
time
get
or another
realistic.
get discouraged about what's going on.
But life
It
is discouraging. That's part of the
it is.
process.
Right.
You
It's a
and
climb.
it will take and then I've been heavy almost my whole entire life, and I've lost weight and I've gained weight, and I'm doing better at it this time around. But, there are days when I don't wanna get up. Today, prime example, I was like, "I hurt too
I
bad.
don't want to go to the gym.
I didn't go to the gym this morning because I just hurt too bad. I got PT here in a few minutes. They're gonna hurt me anyway." So, you know, but there have been days when I've awakened and I'm like, I don't wanna do it. Yeah, you're gonna get up and you're gonna do it anyway, whether you want to.
Right.
And there are days when I've stepped on the scale, and, "Oh, crap, I'm 3 pounds heavier than I was the other day," and then I go down but it's when you hit the goal that you thought you were gonna hit, and when you see how the work comes in behind it and all the crap
It
that you
makes
went
it
through,
worth it.
it's worth it. All that crap that came along with it, but I stayed with it even there were times when I
School
thrown the
board.
towel. This past year and this past school year was so fantastic. I got to meet so many people and got into the schools, meeting the teachers, meeting the kids, and getting to know the kids and seeing how great some of these kids are.
Can't
I
beat it.
mean, there are some special seniors in this 2026 class that I was just awed by their compassion, their drive, their intelligence, and I got to see that, which other people don't get. And if I had thrown in the towel a year and a half ago, I would have never seen it. So the rewards are there. You just have to be patient. You have to be willing to look for it.
Absolutely. You know,
That's my rant.
this has been great, guys. I'm telling you. And I do want to do one more real quick plug, and I'll let Charlie take us from there. But we do, as you folks know, and I'm just going to pull up our little sign up sheet. Tell me when you can see it. This is our sign up sheet for Let's Talk About uh, our historical
I
past,
see
our
it.
podcast. Sign up for it. You can contact me. This is Mountain Patriots Historical Ministries. This is our podcast. We're looking people to do it. But also, folks, take a look at some of the Mountain Patriot gear. Right now, we have 25% off of the shop because it's brand new. My wife puts so much. We're here for the long haul. We don't do this because this is not to make money. We do this because we actually care about the country. But there's all kinds of different topics. There's all kinds of different things. You can get stuff for your dog. It's one of a kind products. You can design your own stuff. It's got the Mountain Patriots logo on it. Come check us out. Join us for our Mountain Patriots educational ministries. Come on our show. And more importantly, get involved in what's going on. We're this close, folks. Within the next year, if we push forward, okay, we push forward, we're going to see a completely different country. And it does take a few years to undo 115, 120 years worth of indoctrination that we've all been subjected to. None of us wants to be slaves anymore. Look at your property taxes. You're a slave. Go to the store, pay the taxes. You're a slave. Get involved and let's get this thing together. Charlie, any last comments?
I think, that's a good time to wrap it up, and,
This was great, guys. I love chatting with both of you. We always have good guests coming on. We have some good guests that are going to be joining us. Travis Sumption, Sheriff Travis Sumption's going to be joining us. I think Ben Klein's coming on here. David Williams, who's running for Senate, he's going to be on our Mountain Patriots podcast. We've got a lot of people yet to talk to, a lot of issues yet to uncover. So, Charlie, anything else? Scott, anything else?
I think I've ranted enough.
God bless you
yeah,
guys, man. Charlie, would you like to
that
take us out with the prayer today?
I would.
Thank you.
Dear Lord, thank you for this beautiful world, and thank you for our founding fathers. Thank you for this country that you've given us, and thank you for the patriots who are willing to care for it. and for aspiring our founders to make this beautiful republic. Please help us to keep it as the aspiring place to live. Please give us the wisdom to do the right things, the common sense to judge wisely, the energy to never give up, and your unending grace in which we take comfort. Jesus, in your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Folks, that is a wrap. Thank you for joining us. Please like what you see, share, comment. We'd love to hear what people have to say. And come on out and help us out. And until the next time, as we always say at Mountain Patriots, or as Rick would always say, this one
is in the book.
Have a blessed day, everybody.
God bless.